Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs today. So let's get to it. All right, you guys know the drill. I'm on my lunch break. First story up. Let's talk about what seems to be the whole talk, even though we knew this a few weeks ago. I don't know why everybody is so, celebratory. I thought we celebrated already, but I guess maybe because Robyn Dixon finally herself confirmed what the blogs were already saying, which was that she was fired from the network. Bravo did not invite her back to Real Housewives of Potomac. And like I said, I think it was B. Scott who dropped the original, so don't quote me. Somebody dropped the original story that she was fired. Candiace was leaving. Candiace did already confirm that she was leaving on her own. You can believe that or not. You know, I always tell you guys that Bravo does allow the ladies to just kind of say whatever they want. As long as they ain't on their damn channel no more, Bravo don't really care how they present it to the masses, you know. But I do believe that Candiace, you know, in light of what we now know about Candiace, I do believe that it probably was her choice. Maybe she could see that it was heading towards her might being let go of, or, you know, whatever, but she's taking this break. And just something about the fact that they keep saying that she's taking a break, I feel like they've left the door open kind of for her to come back if that is what she chooses to do. But, you know, who knows? Child, who knows? All we know is Candiace ain't going to be there. Robyn won't be there. Robyn did make the announcement officially on her podcast with Giselle, the Reasonably Shady podcast. I mean, it is what it is. She said that they didn't ask her back. You know, she wasn't salty. She said that, you know, she thanked everybody for the opportunity. You know, then she got a little emotional, which is something that Robyn doesn't normally do. And then Giselle had the nerve to say, "Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry." I was like, girl, nothing makes you cry. Nothing makes you cry. Yeah, Robyn, you know, she got emotional and said that she's just going to be, you know, sad that part of their friendship doesn't continue on. But, you know, they're still going to be doing their podcast, I'm sure, and all that. You know, she talked about how they met years ago, and it just, you know, they was bosom buddies ever since, you know. So, I mean, end of an era. She's been there since the beginning of the show created. So 8 seasons, but Bravo was like, yeah, take that ass on for season number 9. I can't say that I'm sad about it. I kind of feel like Robyn has done it to herself. Between her and Juan, you know, they weren't behaving as people who still wanted to have a place on the show. Yeah, I don't feel any way about it one way or the other. The show is going to go on. The next question is, who is Giselle going to be? You know, they're going to have to do something about Giselle. Giselle is not as easy of a person that they can get rid of as, you know, as Robyn was, because Giselle still has a lot of fans. And you guys know that the villain is usually the person that brings people back to the show, but it has to be done delicately, where the villain is still, just not so unlikable that, you know, nobody wants to watch. But, you know, you have to have somebody that's going to be the anti, right? But they've got to make some changes or have some conversation with Giselle. First of all, Giselle is going to have to make some changes, because Giselle doesn't have her one ace in the hole anymore. Robyn being gone, this changes the dynamics for Giselle. I mean, I know that Karen is still her girl, but Karen is everybody's girl, and Giselle's not going to be able to flip Karen. Okay, Karen is very 10 toes down on how she feels about, you know, whatever issues the ladies have on the show. So Karen won't be that person. It would probably be the new person. If they bring on a new person, you know, then that would be the person that Giselle could probably try to sink her claws into. And I think probably, I'm hoping that they bring, I'll keep on doing this to my lips, you know, because I don't want to have lipstick on my teeth. This damn Riri, her red lipstick, child, it's so slippery. It goes all over the place. Anyway, child, I hope that they bring Kay on as a permanent, like as a housewife and not just a friend, because I think that she's perfect. I mean, I'm assuming she's married. I don't know if she's married or not, but Giselle's never been married, so that doesn't make a difference. But if they bring Kay on, you know, I guess Giselle can try to possibly change Kay's mind, but I don't even see that happening. Giselle's going to have to make some changes, like a la Kenya Moore. Okay, like she's going to have a talk with herself and realize that the way that she's been moving is not really conducive to staying, like long-term longevity to staying on this show. Okay, and you guys remember how much Kenya was not liked at I don't know what the seasons are. You guys be, oh yeah, season 8 was when, I don't know that, but there was a time when Kenya, the difference with Kenya and Giselle though is Kenya has diehard stans. People that love Kenya no matter what. And even though Giselle has those same kind of stans as well, she doesn't have as many. So it's still a little different, but even Kenya had to have a talk with herself and was just like, why am I just always fighting and mad and going off and doing all of this? There's a way that you can still be sassy and still maybe even be a villain, but not to the extent where, half of all of the fucking viewing audience hates you. There's still a lot of people that don't like Kenya, but nobody can deny the fact that Kenya made some changes to her personality that when she came back to the show, and even now, it's not the same as the Kenya that we got when she first came on. So Giselle's gonna have to do something, and I'm sure that they've had that conversation with her. I mean, you guys see they have boycott RHOP. That's the hashtag that's going around, and all of that is behind the fact that Giselle is still on the show. People are still trying to get her off of the show. I don't think that that's going to work, but it won't work in this next season, I don't think, but it might work long term if, first of all, if the fans are really serious about not watching, then it will. But, these kind of things, it'd be all this uproar. But so far, I don't know if that really makes people, I don't know if that really makes the networks decide to get rid of somebody. Okay. Not a staple. Now, if it's a new person like NECA, there's also rumor that NECA was fired, but that hasn't been an official announcement yet. I don't see NECA coming back, because like I said, she just totally mishandled and came on the show wrong. And it's too bad because I felt like just a little couple of glimmers of her personality that we saw in the reunion. I was like, oh, I kind of think I might have liked NECA had she not done that, But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now they're saying that NECA is going to be gone. Like Ashley said on Twitter, we're going to wait until the official announcement comes. But I wouldn't be surprised. There's no reason for NECA to be on the show anymore. She's kind of burned that bridge. So yeah, that's kind of what the situation is with Real Housewives of Potomac. I did tell you guys that Candiace had some news that she shared with us. She and Chris had a cute little video of them announcing that she is pregnant. Okay, so good for her. We know that has been something that she was afraid of doing, but ultimately really wanted to do. Okay, she's already talked to us in depth about how she was worried about what kind of mother she was going to be, just judging by the way that she was raised by her mother. We can always look at some things that our parents have done and wish maybe we could do it differently, and be afraid that maybe we gonna fall in them same kind of habits or whatever. So, I get what she's saying, but really, honestly, there's no way for you to 100% be ready for a baby. Listen, I am a researcher. Like when I latch on to something and I be really, really almost borderline obsessed with it, I'm gonna read all the books. I'm gonna do all of the research. Now, when I had Joe, it was my first child, 25 years ago, well, the internet wasn't a thing, so I bought all the books and read everything. Not all the books, but I bought a whole bunch of books and I was read up and I was prepared, honey. His nursery was set. I had all of the shit, I had the shower. Everybody got everything that I needed. And all I needed was my perfect little bouncing baby boy to come. And then he was not perfect bouncing baby boy. He was a screaming ass child for 4 months. And I just was looking at him like, what is going on? What is this? The book did not tell me that you were going to cry. Scream for 4 months, and not sleep. Okay. I've never been as tired in my whole entire life as when I, gave birth to my first child. There's certain things that you just are not going to be prepared for. It's kind of one of those situations, you know how you get certified for something, and then a lot of times you can't get certified for something because you haven't had the experience. You have to actually live the certification. You have to actually be in it, in the job, doing it till you are certified. That way you can speak on it, because you can read shit on paper all the time. All right. That's the book answer. But in real life, life don't always go by the book. So that's my advice to Candace, is just enjoy the fact that you've got this new baby, that you were blessed with your husband, even with all the shit that you've gone through. Like, none of that even matters. Like, none of that matters. What matters now is you've got your child. It's coming. And I'm assuming the baby is healthy and you guys are happy and you're in a great place. And a lot of times when you go through things in your marriage, like, that makes you stronger. Once you guys can get on the other side of it, that makes you, not always, but sometimes it'll bring you guys closer together. And I'd like to think that that's where Chris and Candace are with their whole situation, So good for her. It's scary, but life can be scary, and you just gotta step out on faith, child, that it's all gonna be fine. So I'm happy for her. I thought the video was cute. She genuinely looked happy. He looked happy, and I'm sure she's glad that at least she's, she might got the bookmark in the book, but she's closed the book to the chapter of Real Housewives of Potomac. So, good for her. I wish nothing but good things for them. All of them, really. NECA, even Robyn. Like, I hope everybody can just go, they all gonna be fine, child. They gonna be fine. All right. Maybe Robyn will look at life and make some tweaks herself, or maybe she won't. She probably won't, but I'm just glad that the show is over and I ain't got to review it no more, you guys. Next topic. All right, you guys. So the next big story that was out was the WNBA draft that happened yesterday. And, we've been excited about women's basketball. I told you that, we watched the March Madness and the tournaments, and women's basketball, women's college basketball is very, very exciting. And I think even women's professional basketball is exciting, but they don't have that audience. So because March Madness is such a huge thing anyway, they have way more eyes on them at that stage. And maybe hopefully it'll carry over into the WNBA so that they can, it will probably never get to the point that the NBA is. But, with the new talent coming in and all, maybe it'll just, maybe slowly but surely, the WNBA can make the money and get the support and have all the sponsorship and the major, huge, gigantic, ginormous contracts that the men have. Like, one day, hopefully it will happen for the women. Okay. It's not today. All right. But unless you are like one of the huge stars, there are women in the WNBA that make money, still not as much as the men do, but, it's still, the stars can do it, but if it can just generally be, as much of a cash cow for the women as it has been for the men, that's what we hope. But anyway, they did have the draft, yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you guys who was chosen now I don't know half of these girls. I just know a few names, and I'm sure you guys know a few of the names as well. But I'm just going to tell you guys who was in the first round draft, okay? So here we go. So the very first choice was Caitlin Clark. You guys know of Iowa. She is a phenomenal guard. She was drafted to the Indiana Fever, okay? Second, we had Cameron Brink. She's a forward, and she's going to the LA Sparks. Next, we had Camila Cardoso, who's a center, who goes to Chicago Sky. Rakia Jackson is a forward, goes to LA Sparks. JC Sheldon is a guard and going to the Dallas Wings. Aaliyah Edwards is a forward who's going to Washington Mystics. Angel Reese is a forward going to Chicago Sky. Alyssa Pili goes to Minnesota Child, Minnesota, I don't know, it's a typo. I'm sorry, y'all, but she going to Minnesota. Whoever their team is out there. Carla Leet, I guess that's how you say her name. She's a guard that's going to the Dallas Wings. Layla Lacan. Child, where are my glasses at, y'all? And I forgot my fan today, so I got the air on, but bitch is already feeling like she about to sweat. That's why. And then all this damn hair too, child. Anyway. Leela Lacan is a guard that's going to Connecticut Sun. Markeisha Davis is a guard that's going to New York Liberty. And Naya Diu Puak, I hope I'm saying that right, I'm sure I'm not, who's a forward, is going here to Atlanta Dream. Okay, so those are the top 10 choices of the first round of the draft. Well, I guess it's only 10 choices in the first round. These are the top 10 of the whole entire draft, I should say. This was all first round people. And of course, we are mostly going to talk about, like I said, Caitlyn, who is just a great player, like undeniably a great player. But you know, I kept reading in the comments and seeing people, and everybody was like, why wasn't Angel Reese, chosen beforehand? Why is it, even though she is still in the first round, which is still great, people felt like she should have, some of the folks in the comments were saying, why wasn't she chosen, even before number 7? So you guys know me. I reached out to my favorite sports correspondent, okay, my brother Brian, who a lot of you guys was like, oh, Roxanne, you should bring Brian on sometimes. And I was like, I really would, but Brian is in Los Angeles, and, it just would never work, considering I do my videos on my lunch break. Hell, it's 1 o'clock here, and it's what, 10 o'clock? Yeah, 10 o'clock there. Like, we just couldn't do it that way. So you guys will have to just deal with the fact that maybe I'll put a little picture in here if I get a chance. Y'all don't hold your breath on that. But anyway, I reached out to Brian because I was like, hey, let me bend your brain a little bit real quick. So the talk about Angel Reese, is it a big deal that she wasn't chosen immediately? Were they being unfair to her? Is there more to this story? This is what he said to me. I asked him, did number 7, the choice, matter? And he said, nope, she went exactly where she should have, 7th, based on her play. She's a great defender and rebounder, but she's not a shooter. Think more Dennis Rodman than Kobe Bryant. Still a really good player and a plus for the team that drafted her. I think she's going to Chicago with the other real tall girl that played for Don Staley's team, South Carolina. But she's not a shooter, okay? Think Dennis Rodman, then Kobe Bryant. Still a really good player and a plus for the team that drafted her, but not as complete as most of the women taken before her. Has nothing to do with her personality, popularity. Actually, the WNBA wants more personalities like her. And if she was more complete, she would have been top 3 pick for sure. Okay. And like I told y'all, I do actually, I think that my brother is pretty well versed in sports. He watches basketball all the time. He's always been like that. So, I do trust what he's saying. And that does make sense. When you think of a defender like Dennis Rodman, and not an all around just a guard like Kobe was or whatever, I get it. So that's it, and I'm willing to just agree with Brian. So he's saying that she's, and it's still good that she's where she is. So, all of you guys that are wondering if there was more to the reason why she wasn't chosen immediately, well, there you have it. Okay. Next story. All right, you guys. So listen, I'm gonna need y'all help on this one, because y'all know I don't know shit about these rapper beefs and all of this. I just tend to enjoy the music, and I used to be more up on who was dissing who and all of that. But bitch got other things to do, child. I don't know. I just wonder why we all can't get along. Okay, shout out to Rodney King. There was all this talk on the internet last week because apparently Kendrick Lamar, who is one of my favorite rappers, but not so much anymore. Like, I don't really, he hasn't really put anything out, and then he just kind of he was a little bit more hotepy than, I was willing to go, child. So, but, I still love K-Dot, I still, he is still one of my favorite top rappers, okay? Now, apparently, K-Dot had put out this song called Like That. And in the song, he apparently dissed J. Cole, Drake, and maybe Future was in it. I don't know. Don't you guys don't be like, Roxanne, you got it all wrong, because I didn't already told y'all I don't know shit about it. Okay, I was just trying to read, but it was so much information. It was so much information, that the blogs was trying to explain it to me. And I just was like, I don't even know what I'm reading. Okay, it just went back and all of this. What I will say is I always thought that Drake and Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole were friendly competitors, okay? Like, they are, what a lot of people will say, top of the chain rappers right now. And so I figured that the three of them would, when one would inspire the other, come at the other one, in the whole spirit of beef rapping and all, that the other one would, oh shit, it's somebody finally that I can say, I can respond to, get the creative juices going and get it on wax and all of that. That's kind of how rap beefs have been for me. Didn't necessarily take them that seriously. I mean, of course, rappers, one of the whole bravado of being a rapper is saying that you are the best, you the number one, nobody can beat you, all of that. So, I mean, I know that about rap and rap disses, but as we get further, as time goes on now with social media, I blame everything on social media, but it's the truth, you guys. The fact that now there are so many other opinions and people that weigh in. A lot of times rap beef don't stay on wax no more. And shit gets really heightened and heated. And I mean, it can even get to a point where it's dangerous. And we don't want that to happen, So I thought maybe this whole situation with K-Dot, because I had heard about the song and I heard about him saying that he was number one, like get rid of the others, basically I'm paraphrasing. Y'all can go listen to this damn song yourself. But J. Cole, responded to it with, okay, so let me just look at my notes here, child, so J. Cole came out with this album called Might Delete Later, okay? And on that album, he has a song called 7 Minute Drill. And in that song, he came back with quite a bit of vitriol towards K-Dot. And in the song, he talks about K-Dot like basically falling off, okay? And, but it wasn't in that friendly, like, competitive sport kind of way. It kind of felt a little bit more personal. It kind of felt a little bit more mean, it didn't feel quite as clever anymore. It just kind of felt like, oh shit, like, hey man, y'all ain't cool like that. It was kind of disappointing to see just as a casual fan. Now, if I was a rap, if I was one of them people that just love rap and love the whole sport of rap and all of that, then, I guess that's the stuff that people really like. The fact that, these rappers are coming back at each other, and, remember when we had Meek Mill and Drake going back and forth? Remember what a time that was? To me, I was just disappointed, like, wow, like, I mean, had it gotten that bad? But, there were other people that was like, and then you got all this debate on who was best and going back and forth and who killed who on what lyric, on what verse and blah, 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 we like to see that kind of thing. I just like for it to stay on wax or stay on the blogs or in the tweets or whatever. When the shit starts to translate to real life and motherfuckers be mad and then it don't even be them, it be their fans that get involved and all that, then it turns into something else. And I think that that's what ended up happening with J. Cole. I think that he, who normally is a pretty level-headed guy, seems to be very smart, seems to be a cool guy and not one to really get into the whole mess of the messy parts of rap. it didn't seem like that was a step that he normally would take, you know. So he actually could not live with himself. He said it didn't sit right with his spirit, and that he was actually going to remove the song. It wasn't going to be able to be streamed anymore, you know, unless you had recorded it, I guess. There was really no other way that they were going to, you know, he was not going to release the song any longer, because, you know, maybe he let some people get in his ear, you know, maybe the pressure of the fans and, you know, people, and just, you know, might be a weak spot where you just don't want to be looked at as a weak person or as the worst or anything. What I'm saying is, I think that J. Cole realized that he turned this, you know, real healthy, robust sport into like maybe something else that could have still went further, and that's why he decided to just back up off of it. Now, to me, I think that that's great. You know, I think that when people start getting the message, taking the messages way too seriously, that, you know, some bad things can happen. But, you know, if you listen to the people that really love the sport of beef rapping and all of that, you know, they are disappointed. They didn't want him to do that, you know, all that. But I mean, I understand, but I am also a grown ass 53-year-old woman who, you know, so it's like, Roxanne, you know, just stay out of it, because this is men that's rapping, you know, at the top of their craft, and, you know, let them do them. And I mean, I'll let them do them. But what I will say is that whole thing that K-Dot did spark like everybody else to want to just jump up and start saying stuff. Now, like I said, he mentioned, I think also in the song, or because he said top three, him, Drake, and J. Cole. So Drake also kind of responded, but not on wax. He just, I think at a performance that he was having, one of his concerts or something, he was talking about how he just, you know, he good, and he's standing 10 motherfucking toes down, and, you know, I don't know why you have to do that, but, you know, I guess he just trying to say, like, I'm standing my ground, like, nigga, yeah, like, nigga, can't nobody, yeah, nigga, can't, like my mom, you know, to the heart. You know, that's a gang sign when they do that. Mom, that is not no damn gang sign. Okay, anyway, if you know, you know. But you know, I guess Drake was just saying, like, he was given more of the impression that he can't even be worried about it, because he already know what he do, okay, and that life is good for him and all that. Now, there's also, when I was reading up on this, you know, there was also some stuff about Future and Metro Boomin, because I guess K-Dot had some issues with what Future has said. I didn't even know Future was considered one of the top rappers. I honestly didn't. I mean, you know, we ain't even heard from Future in so long. But, you know, when he was hot, now he was hot, but, you know, I didn't even know he was still holding. I mean, I never knew that he was ever holding that spot, okay? But, I mean, I guess. So there was some other shit about Future and their child. It's just, y'all just go back and read up on yourself. Now that Drake had kind of spoken up, I guess, you know, Rick Ross, who, you know, is the king of petty. Well, not the king. He's not quite as petty as 50 Cent is, but he's probably running a close second, okay? I'm not sure how Rick Ross ended up in it, but, and I don't know if this whole thing with Drake and Rick Ross is even related. But you know, I think that Rick Ross, you know, he also loves to just get in there where he can, you know, get in where he can fit in, which ain't probably too many places. But you know, he's been coming at Drake. Now, let me just remember. Now, I don't know if he's just having fun with the whole thing, or if this is something else that we need to be serious about, but I'm going to tell you what I read on the internet. According to Forbes, I laughed when I pulled up the article. I was like, Forbes? How Forbes talking on Drake and Rick Ross's damn beef? But anyway, they had an article, and they said that, now, apparently Drake has this song, I guess this was his diss track that he had called Push-Ups, dropping Give Me 50. Okay, that leaked over the weekend, where Drake is taking shots at Ross, The Weeknd, Future, and Kendrick. Okay, well then there you have it. See, I didn't even realize that's what the fuck I typed, all right? It was just so much, y'all. But he said whatever he said about them in the song, and Rick Ross came back with an answer called Champagne Moments, where he said that Drake had a ghostwriter and that he had cosmetic surgery, okay, which is where the hashtag BBL Drizzy came from. Not saying that he got a BBL, although that is hilarious to me. But I think they're saying that he's saying that Drake had a nose job, okay? And so I guess when that chatter was getting out there, supposedly Drake's mom had reached out to Drake, like, did you go and get a nose job without me? Like, why would you do that? And he was like, oh, Mom, all right, don't worry about it. You know, Rick Ross, he's on that damn diabetic drug and the shit got him loopy. You guys, I paraphrase, but the text, the little text exchange was funny because Drake can be funny as well. And, you know, they're all quite clever in the wordplay that they do. So, you know, I can appreciate it. But, of course, Drake and Rick Ross are probably going to go back and forth until the other one decides to let it go. I don't know if I take their beef as serious. But again, it's not always them. It's usually the fans that when they get involved, that shit kind of turns left. But so I guess what I'm asking you guys, is this something that we need to be worried about? Or is it just, you know, just all in a day's work, you know, just some fun between the guys, you know, everybody been bored, ain't been really too much competition out there. And so, yeah, now that we got a little something to work with, you know, then let's do it. I kind of feel like that's what Nicki Minaj does, but it always changes because, you know, women, it's not the same. Like for whatever reason, when women fight, it turns into something totally different, you know. But I feel like sometimes Nicki Minaj is just looking for a worthy opponent, you know, somebody that she can go back and forth with, and all. But again, like I said, social media, that old SM, you guys, social media sometimes changes things for people. So. But, so yeah, that's my question. Is this serious? Is something we need to be worried about? Or is they just playing? You know, y'all just, let me know. Next story. Lastly, you guys, I just wanted to give listen, I don't even know what to call it. You guys, I don't want people getting mad at me about, you know, O.J. Simpson. Actually, he died on the morning that I was going to have my surgery. Mr. was like, you hear about OJ? And I was like, no way, because I hadn't been on social media. And he was like, he died. And I was like, really? Was very shocked to hear that. I mean, I don't know why I would or wouldn't be, but I was just like, oh, you know, some people just don't expect to die, child. And yeah, I mean, what I will say about it is, you know, child, I don't know what to say. He's a very notorious, very polarizing person. Either you loved him or you hated him. I think that the black community kind of brought OJ back into the fold because, granted, OJ was not really trying to be with the black folks when his takedown happened. Or maybe I better not call it takedown because, you know. But when the murder of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman happened, you know, I think most of us can say that OJ was really not trying to be considered part of the black community like that. But he found out soon enough, all right, that, you know, the way that people started to feel about him and all of the community that he had found himself in, you know, once they thought that he was indeed the murderer of Nicole Brown Simpson, you know, then they ousted him. And the black people, you know, this was not right, you guys. This was not right. I'm going to tell you right now. It wasn't right. But black people was just so happy to find out that finally somebody black kind of beat the system. And yes, that's a fucked up way to put it, but that's how the black people felt at the time. I think a lot of black people maybe even felt like, if they didn't at the time, over time, they did actually believe that he did indeed kill them or have something very much to do with the fact that I don't know if I felt like he physically was the one that did it, but you know, I felt like OJ knew some things, okay? I felt like OJ probably knew some things, a whole lot. And, you know, it is what it is there. But he was never found guilty. You know, he did go to jail, but that was nothing to do with the case or anything. You know, that was about him basically robbing a sports collector not robbing them, but they said he was at gunpoint. He had a gun, and there was a sports collector that had some memorabilia of his that he wasn't supposed to have, and OJ was trying to get it back and kind of took the matter into his own hands. And then, you know, they ended up throwing the book at him, because I don't know if that was as big of a crime as the time, but, you know, this was the best way that they can get OJ Simpson in jail, you know. So, you know, it's all that happened. The man got out some years ago, and he's been pretty quiet. When he first came out, he was talking a lot, because social media was like a new thing probably for him. And so he was out there and he was giving his opinions and everything, but he slowly got off of social media and just kind of was living his life, you know, somewhere, I'm assuming. But apparently a year or two ago, maybe a year ago, there was a reporter or like some kind of journalist or somebody that saw him at a golf resort, and had said that they had heard that he had been in hospice. And he laughed and he was like, hospice? No, I'm not in hospice, you know. Like, look at me now. Here I am at the golf. How would I be in hospice if I'm at the golf course? You know, but a lot of times where there's smoke, there's fire. Now that, I hadn't even seen that until now, you know, after he had passed. But obviously somebody was talking about it back then, that he had been ill and he had been in hospice. But I guess he had taken a turn for the better. Or, no. I think that they said that the hospice had said, the people had said that there was nothing else that they can do, which is supposed to be when you're in hospice. So I don't really know how this story goes, but I think that he was doing better, and maybe he had been taken off of hospice. But then as time got worse and he started really, you know, the disease started getting the best of him, then he got ill, and, you know, then he ended up dying. And yeah, it was a shock, child. It was a shock. I just didn't, you know, I didn't think that would happen, you know. So yeah, he's very polarizing. I mean, like I said, either you love him or you don't. Of course, the families of the victims do not love him, and I get that totally. You know, a lot of people were upset that the Goldmans were speaking out, and people, you know, had a lot to say. And I'll just say this unpopular opinion, but if somebody murdered my child, or if I believed somebody murdered my child so violently as that, I would have nothing good to say about them either, you know, and I would spit on their fucking grave, you know. I'm just telling you what it is. So, I mean, I understand the emotions that come along with that. And we know that the Goldmans in particular were very, very mad that nothing came of the fact that their son was dead, you know. So you have to kind of look at it from that perspective. As far as Caitlyn Jenner, again, I mean, I understand that was a close friend of their family and all that, but what I will say is, in terms of Caitlyn Jenner's situation, the fact that she herself also went through quite a bit when she got into that accident and killed somebody died as a result. You just wonder, you know, do people just have like selective memory and don't realize that the things that they say might look a certain way, considering, you know, what also you have done. Now, the key word there, though, is accident. She didn't set out to go and kill anybody when she got on PCH that day, okay? Yet it is what it is. So I just was like, maybe she could have thought about what she said before she tweeted what she did. Okay. But I mean, I wasn't mad at nobody, because like I said, if somebody killed a loved one of mine like that, like, I'd be like, fuck them. And I'm glad they gone, you know. So I that's how I would have been. So I mean, I get it, child. I don't know what else to tell you guys on that. But yeah, it was still, yeah. You guys, I told you the story about how I went to Paul Revere Junior High with OJ Simpson's son Jason, and had a huge crush on him. Everybody did. He was a good looking kid. I mean, OJ Simpson, when you look at it, I mean, he was a good looking man, and his son was fine as hell, and I like had a huge crush on him, and I feel like I might have got his attention for like maybe a couple of days. I like to think that I did, honey. I like to think that I did. But, you know, like his father, Jason did not like black girls. He definitely was, you know, white girls and all that. So I didn't have a chance with the boy. I mean, fuck, we was in 7th, 8th, 9th grade, you know. But, yeah, you know, we would see OJ would come to he played football. His son played football. So OJ would come to the game sometimes and, you know, all of that. But, yeah, that was my little brush with the Simpson thing, you know. And of course, when the murders happened, you know, we used to always go, you know, when people came in town. This is such a morbid thing, but I mean, there was the OJ Simpson tour. Like, you took them to Nicole's house, you took them to OJ's house, you took them on the freeway where they went. You know, everybody wanted. It was such a huge deal, you guys, such a huge deal. And I can remember when he was in that white Bronco, and I remember me and Debbie going and walking over the overpass of the freeway when he actually crossed. Because we lived in an apartment, and the overpass of, if you guys are familiar with LA, where La Cienega and, what is that other street? La Cienega and, not Century, it's the next street over. We used to live in these apartments that they had built by the airport. They're not even there any longer. But, so we walked across to the overpass and actually saw when him and his boy AC had drove by and all that. Child, it was like a time. Let me tell you, it was a damn time. And this was all around also the time around Rodney King and all, like, so much happened when we lived over there in those apartments. Child, the riots, ooh, it was a time to be alive, child. But anyway, I did feel a way when he died. I was just like, oh, you know, but that's kind of all I can say about it, child. So he was 76 years old. He leaves behind his daughter and his son, Arnell and Jason. They say that the people, whoever the people are, wanted to have his brain donated so they can check it for CTE, and the family gave him a hard ass no. Okay, because you already, you know, it was already a spectacle while the man was alive. Like, we ain't fixing to make a spectacle out of his death. Okay. And even though they may say, well, this might have explained the reasons why he was so volatile and things like that, you know, that's not how they would handle it. They would be like, you know, he's crazy in his brain and all this and all this. And yeah, the family is just like, no, let this man rest in as much peace as he can get, child. I don't know where, if you were a Christian or if you believe in the afterlife, or, you know, you go into heaven or hell. Like, I don't know where the man might land. I bet you it was an interesting day at them gates, though. Oh my goodness, I'm not laughing, you guys. I mean, family lost a loved one, you know, parent, you know, these kids didn't, I'm sure their life was not easy. And so, and now the man that they still loved is gone. So, you know, there's that. All I will say, I mean, rest easy. How's that? Rest easy, Orenthal James Simpson. All right, y'all. It's supposed to be short, and it's not. We gonna get these damn things shorter, child. We gonna get them shorter. But I'm gonna run in here to Chipotle. Y'all see it in the background. Run in here to Chipotle and get me some food and get on back to work. Okay, we do this every single week. Or, well, on Tuesdays and Fridays. So make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.